don't you take sugar in your coffee? When did you get into mysteries? How long ago did you start liking peach pie? When'd you plant all them red maple trees? All this you're telling me comes as a shock. It must be ages since we had a good talk. We gotta have a heart-to-heart, just us two. Talk things over just like we used to do. We should try to get close again, you see. So won't you have a heart-to-heart with me? Do you know I still watch a little baseball? Now the Rangers are my favorite team. And do you know I now listen to some hip-hop that I've come to like cherry ice cream. You used to know me inside and out. Now it seems you don't know who I'm talking about. We gotta have a heart-to-heart, just us two. Talk things over just like we used to do. We should try to get close again, you see. So won't you have a heart-to-heart with me? You and I used to be real good friends. Lots in common, lots of secrets shared. No one else could we like or trust more. I bet you we could still get back there. If we have a heart-to-heart, just us two. Talk things over just like we used to do. We should try to get close again, we see. So won't you have a heart-to-heart with me? A heart-to-heart with me. Have a heart-to-heart with me.
Looking at the world through the wide-angle lens. It's The Broader View with Hey Z and Belle Salisbury on the Hey Z Radio Network. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to The Broader View, everybody. And with us, with Belle and I have a very special guest, and a gentleman that I have spoken to a couple times in the past. And this is such an eloquent man, and I believe he's a philosopher. With us, we have Mr. Benjamin Creme, who has been for 30 plus, almost 40 years now, has been the prime editor for an organization called Share International. And Benjamin is a British artist and a longtime student of esoteric philosophy, and has become the principal source of information about the emergence of Maitreya, the world teacher. Benjamin was born in Scotland in 1922 and began studying at an early age, developing into an accomplished painter in the modernist style. He befriended and collaborated with many of the leading figures in the time in British art, music, and literature, and his paintings have been exhibited and are exhibited in many of the prestigious galleries. And Benjamin, welcome to The Broader View.
Thank you very much.
Well, this is really a privilege to have you with us because I know you don't do a lot of interviews these days. So having you on our show, to me, is an absolute honor.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Now, you are in the UK, and you have been working with what you call the World Masters, or the Masters, for many, many, many years. How did you get involved with this?
Well, I was first contacted. A man came to me and said, the Masters are trying to connect with you. I said, oh, no, they're not. He said, oh, yes, they are. and I have been sent down there. I said, well, I don't hear anything. It's always a telepathic rapport that they establish, at least in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have that. I wasn't aware of it. He said, well, they are trying to contact you. I said, well, I don't hear anything. He said, no, the messages come to you, but they just bounce off you. I said, why is that? He said, because you're not open. I said, well, I'm open to the idea, but I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting any kind of contact with the masters about whom I had read for years and years and years, who were for me such figures of amazing wisdom and beautiful life and knowledge and gifts of love. And I felt they were so high, there was no way they could be trying to contact me. But he assured me that they were. And he said, don't worry, it'll come. I said, what do I have to do? He said, well, you have to relax. That's all you need to do. Just relax. And when the call comes through, receive it. Don't let it bounce off. Well, I didn't know exactly what to do, but I must have done the right thing, because one time, a few weeks later, 5, 6 weeks later, the voice came to me clear as your voice is over the switch, and it said, go to, it's one of our bridges, Blackfriars Bridge, the south end of Blackfriars Bridge, the Blackheath end. If you know London, if you go over Blackfriars Bridge, you come to Blackheath, which is a district in South London. And I was told to go to the end of the bridge. And when I went there, and it gave me a time, it was about 3 weeks ahead. When I went there at the time, 9:30, there was nobody about. It's an area which is mainly offices, and at the weekends it's quiet. There's very few people about, and there was nobody about then. But at the end of the bridge was a car, and I sidled up to the car and looked in, and there were some people in the car whom I didn't recognize, but one of them I did. It was the man who had come and told me that I was receiving the messages from the masters who were trying to contact me. And it just started from there. I missed a lot of contacts in the beginning, arranged contacts. I missed them. I became so uptight that I began to give them to myself, and I sent myself in all sorts of wild goose chases. And they would make funny reading if I could ever get round to writing an autobiography. But gradually I settled down. I didn't make them up, and I didn't miss them either. And since 1959, I've been working closely with one of the masters, closer and closer and closer, until his mind and my mind are, as it were, locked together.
Mm-hmm.
He wants me to know, I come to know. And what he doesn't want me to know, I suppose, I don't hear. And we work together and have worked together and built Share International organization around the world. He introduced me to a new meditation called transmission meditation, and he told me how to set about it and made certain tools connected with it. A box which absorbs the spiritual energies which are released by the masters during a transmission meditation, and also a way of using this in a very enlightened way. The Masters step down the energies which come from solar, from planetary and extraplanetary sources, and are very high in vibration. And as it passes through the Masters, it is stepped down. And then it comes to us, the groups and the transmissions, and we step it down further. It goes through the chakras of the groups, in the spines of the groups, and then through, if they have it, not all the groups have it. There are hundreds of groups now all over the world, and some have this book, we call it a tetrahedron because it's built on the principles of the tetrahedron. And he taught me how to make one of these. I made the first one, and now there are hundreds of groups, but maybe only 50 to 100 actually have the tetrahedron. So it isn't absolutely necessary to have it, but it helps to distribute the energies correctly when we have received them. So I hope people will still go on making. It becomes more and more expensive to make because it entails not only crystals but sheets of gold and silver wire and gold wire. Not so much gold wire, but some gold wire and a lot of silver wire and rather large sheets of gold and silver. The price of gold, of course, has rocketed upwards in recent months and year, and so it gets a little bit expensive, but well worth doing. So we use this tetrahedron in all our transmissions, and so the energy is stepped down to a level that can be distributed safely to humanity. And it forms a pool of energy from which all groups who are doing transmission meditation or otherwise, it doesn't work against the work of any spiritual group. In fact, it can only enhance the work that any group does. And you can do any other meditation or any other spiritual practice at the same time. I don't mean the same time of day, but concurrently, but a different time of day from the transmission meditation.
Okay.
And this is one of the great works. The Masters call it transmission and meditation for the New Age. And will become more and more used during the next cycle, the cycle of Aquarius, into which the Masters say we have now moved. We are now at the very beginning of the age of Aquarius, no longer in the age of Pisces, where we have been for the last 2,150 years, but the energies of Aquarius and the energies of Pisces are at the moment more or less equal. Only those of Pisces are receding daily, hourly, moment to moment, and those of Aquarius are waxing in power and potency every day, every moment that passes. And this will go on and through the age of Aquarius, which will last about 2,000. Every age is about 2,150 to 2,350 to 500 years.
So this